some pressure.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Like I work with high profile clients. You cannot mess up.
The training and discipline and the physicality that it takes and the endurance, like you talk about, and the mental endurance you need.
It was like, you move to the back.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, like I'll never not pay attention again.
It's me, Tracy, and when I get on the mic, you know we about to have a good time tonight. Real talk, real growth, that's a fact. So go ahead now, sit back and relax. Hanging with us, you'll see that nothing is impossible, because together we become unstoppable. You know that taking action is the objective, so get ready for the Breakthrough Collective. This is the Breakthrough Collective, where your story matters, your courage counts, and your next chapter starts now. Oof. Today is amazing. I am joined by 3 of my close friends who I have known for years. That's Andrea. So they started off as young dancers, and they have built a life that has been so successful, and entrepreneurs for like over 2 decades. So here we are. I'm going to introduce Andrea first. This is Andrea Fairweather. She started off, I think she started the mobile beauty business before it was even popular. And she was also on Good Morning America. You're a key makeup artist for Good Morning America. We also have Charles, stumbling. We also have Charles Farruggio, who went from the dance floor to designing beautiful, stunning interiors, and also flying as he's a flight attendant as well. And then we have Jennifer DeLuca, who took her love for movement and opened up a Pilates studios. I would say almost 3 decades ago. Yeah, it's been a long time. And she is also a published author. So you guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
I'm so excited. Okay, so should we dive in, or do you guys want to say anything to the audience before we start? You know, our expanders is what we call them.
Thanks for having us.
Right. Let's
Okay.
have some fun.
Happy
Thanks
to be
for
here.
having us.
Okay.
And you are amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, let's
What to be doing this?
Okay,
Right.
Okay, but let's be our true selves, okay?
Do you think I would not say something like that? I was being very authentic.
Okay, all right.
No, it's very impressive what you've done
Oh,
Yes.
thank
and
you.
inspiring, and it's really
True.
incredible.
He's trying to borrow some money. I'll give it to you. Okay, so let's start. I have my questions, all right? And don't make fun of me because I did not memorize any of this. Okay. All right, so we've known each other for a very, very long time. It's been decades, right?
Since 1983.
Ooh.
That's right.
Oh.
Went to high school together.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
I just went right
Yeah.
into it.
She's giving clarity. And we all started with dance in some way, right? So what's your earliest memory of dance, and how did it make you feel back then as the 13 or 14-year-old?
You mean in high school?
Yeah.
Gosh, the earliest memory. I think it was I could go back to the audition
Okay.
for LaGuardia High School. And I would have to say I was really enthusiastic.
Mhm.
I could feel the energy in the room. It was an amazing energy. I was really happy with the dance that I had chosen and the music I had chosen. It was Everybody Rejoice from The Wiz. And yeah, I just felt like aligned, I guess. Like I felt like I was in a space where I belonged. I was meant to be.
But what made you want to audition in the first place?
You know, I think for me, it actually goes even before high school. Hard to believe, but my parents put me in ballet class I was like 9 years old. And after, a bunch of bullying and you being teased, and, growing up in Queens for taking ballet classes, I was determined that I was going to quit. And my ballet teacher at the time said to me, if you stay at it, you can be in this year's, I was 9 years old. And I said, you could be in this year's recital. And since I was the only boy, she said, you're going to be the star of the show.
Ooh, that's all she had to tell you.
That's all she had to say. So
He was like, say less.
so I stuck with it because I was determined to be the star of the show. That my very first recital, at 9 years old.
You want fame?
You want fame?
Pause.
Big pause. And it starts here. Andrea, action.
Okay. So with me, it was a Saturday afternoon. I hadn't taken any dance classes yet. I was about 12 years old.
Okay.
And I watched Fame. And at the end of it, it moved me so much that I read the credits and it said dedicated to the students of New York City's High School for the Performing Arts. And I went to my parents' encyclopedia and I said, if this school is real, I want to go there.
Wow.
And when I looked
I got
in the
goosebumps.
encyclopedia, it said it had the history of the school, the photo of the front of the school. My parents came home and I said, I have to tell you something. I have an announcement. I want to dance. And I had a year to get it together. And I went to Ailey and just buckled down, and by the grace of God, I got in.
So you set a goal.
Yeah,
And you
I
took
did.
action and you made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty similar to my story as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
What's your
Yes.
story? What happened?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
So I was at Mary Bruce Dance School, and her main thing was tap. And because I'm a little bit competitive. So there were these other girls.
I know.
No.
There were these other girls that were older that had auditioned and they did not get into the school.
Oh.
So I was like I went home and I was like, Mom, I'm getting into that school, but I'm not going to get in with the skill that with the skill that I currently have. And she was like, okay. So she did some research and she found this place called The Door.
Yes, I remember
it
the
was
door.
downtown. It was on 18th
Yes.
Street at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Wayans brothers went there as well, but
I
like
think so.
afterwards.
Mhm.
And she did the research. I was too young, so she kind of like fibbed a little bit on my age. And I got to go in. They took us like apple picking. All the food there was healthy, and that the skills that I got from that class that I took that summer helped me with that. And so I choreographed my own number. I kind of did like a jazz on point, and I did. Was it George Benson?
Oh
They
man,
say
I
that
wish we
we
could go
are
back and
lights
see
of bright
those audition
on
tapes. That would be,
Yeah. Oh,
that would
God,
be so amazing.
That would be so good. Yeah. So that
Mm.
same thing. I knew that I wanted to get in. So I must have been like 11 because I was when I started school in September, I was 13,
Mhm.
12, and then turned 13.
Mhm.
So yeah, crazy. Okay. So we're going to move on. Yes. Okay. If someone told us back in high school that dance would be the foundation for careers lasting over 20 years, because each of you have had your business for over 20 years, right? What would you have said?
They did say it.
Mhm.
Miss
Okay.
Joel said it.
Okay.
And Miss
Oh.
Mathesia said it. They both did.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if you all remember, but whenever and they said it a few times, like whenever they were about to give a lecture or something.
Like
and-
doing dance history, or
Yes. Yeah. Most times. Do you all remember?
we had
that?
dance history class.
Mhm.
And I remember specifically Miss Joel, like very early on in the beginning when she was trying to get us to understand the history of the school, and that not everyone will go on to dance,
Mhm.
but that you will find that you will use your dance discipline in whatever it is you wanted to do. And I do remember even being that young, I believed it.
Mhm.
I didn't know how, because there was no life experience yet, but I did
Mhm.
believe that. I believed
Yes.
that,
Right.
Mhm.
hearing that, and it most definitely was true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
I think at that age, and at that time, I was not thinking about the next career. And it was we were so dance focused that, and I mean, everything revolved around our dance classes and rehearsals, and that I would actually kind of sort of almost ignore that kind of a comment. And
Okay.
I mean, now
Yeah.
looking back in retrospect, I see how much it's really affected and impacted everything I do.
Yeah.
But I think back then I was like, well, I'm not doing anything else. I'm going to be dancing forever.
So
know?
you knew.
Well, you're just so in it. You're
Mhm.
so in it. And to the point where you kind of, I feel like there's things that you miss out in your young years because you are
So focused.
so focused and so disciplined in dancing. You're not thinking about how those things are going to impact a future career.
Right.
Yeah. I think today things have changed. I think dance schools are sort of preparing students a little better.
Yeah.
to sort of be more well-rounded and prepare for what comes after your dance career.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I feel like as a parent now, I really see the depth to which dance shaped everything for me, including like you're not allowed in the class if you're not on time. Right? Getting rest the night before because stuff is going to be expected of you physically that you literally can't do unless you're well rested, well fed. And I've also really come to appreciate the level of presence that you need in a dance class because you're using your auditory, you're listening, you're seeing, you're unifying your moves with everybody in the room and the timing of the music. And if you're not paying attention when the combination is given out, you are on display as the person who doesn't know what's going on.
Right.
Like I was in Frank Hatchett's class once and I did not get the combination right away. And he was like, you move to the back.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, like I'll never not pay attention again.
Ever
like,
again.
You can't think of other things when you're in a dance class. You really have to be present.
Yeah.
And you also said something that resonated with me that like, there was a time when I was dancing professionally after college where I was like, I'm really tired of the unidimensional life of this career. Like I have to eat brown rice and broccoli for dinner because I don't have any money and I need it to be healthy. And, it does take all of you, spiritually, mentally, physically.
Yeah, it does. And wellness is so important, getting that rest. And I didn't eat healthy, but
those bagels with cream cheese were really good.
Every morning I did have I think it was, even though everything bagel is not my thing, I think a sesame bagel was back in the day. But the wellness is important. Okay, so what's the biggest lesson you took from dance that still shows up in your business today?
So many.
I mean, I think it's just the practice of discipline. Having to do what you say you're going to do. Because if you don't get to class, you're not going to be able to do the performance. Your body's not going to do what you needed to do if you don't get to class. So I think it's just a discipline from everything, and sort of also, the respect was instilled in us like really early on, I think, and just discipline's a big one, I think.
Yeah.
I find endurance is the word that's coming to me. And I am reminded of that pretty often when I'm extremely tired. Like just, drained, like you said, Jen.
But you also get up so early in the morning.
I do, but that's the key is that endurance, and there's a goal there. And same thing in dance. Which I guess I'm just like quietly reminded of it. But it's also like when I look at my colleagues and see if they're really struggling with something, and I'm still like forging through, it reminds me of your discipline that you went through. You know how to do this.
Right.
You know what it is to get through. You know what it is to work through pain. They paid tickets to see you. Like those things are still there. Those lessons are still there. And so
there's some pressure.
Yeah. All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Like I work with high profile clients. You cannot mess up.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
It's like literally one shot. If your look, what I do, if your look is deemed subpar for that one red carpet or that one television,
they won't remember all the things you've done.
Yeah. Right. You're out.
Yeah.
It's high stakes. And dance has always kept me. Always.
So you're all
on your toes. On your toes.
Yeah. And you're only as good as your last.
Yep.
You're only as good as your last face that you beat down to the ground. Like mine. She beat my face today, you guys. Okay.
I mean, you guys said a lot. I would say, you're both reminding me too, like reliability. You have to be really reliable. In my business, you have to be really reliable. If you want clients to show up for you and drop cash and, take your guidance, if you're not showing up on time, if you're not showing up, if you're taking lots of vacation time, like the reliability is such a big piece. And when you're a partner in a dance routine, like you have to be there for those rehearsals. And if you have the flu the night of the performance, guess what? You're still performing.
The show must go on.
Yeah. So I would say reliability. And I would also say, and you kind of tapped into this a little bit, both of you, but like there's like a level of appropriateness that we're always sensing in a dance class. Like,
Being
where
professional.
to stand when the music starts and you have to run out and perform a combination. You're like, am I the appropriate distance from this person on my right and this person on my left?
Yeah.
Like, am I going next? So like there's this sensitivity when you go across the floor too that you're not even realize you're picking up on it, but you're like, oh, okay, wait, that 3, they're gonna go next. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go next,
Right.
And you're just
It's
really
awareness of other people
sensitive.
around
You're
you.
really, you're really sensitive. And I think all of us really use that in our careers. When you're listening to clients and having to, give them what they're asking for, you are being very sensitive to them.
Can I add to that?
Yeah,
It's
of
something
course.
hearing you speak. I also think presence is a big thing, and that just being a dancer performer, like over the years from classes to then dancing professionally, stage presence, it's like in you. And no matter what you do, I think it makes a huge difference. You're in a crowd, you're with one-on-one with someone. The way we carry ourselves, the way we present ourselves, is it's like a magnet, and people are drawn to it. And there's a level of confidence that comes from being on stage, and like just how we carry ourselves, I think, is a big thing, and it's in our blood, it's in our bones.
So Charles, your path from dancer to interior design to 12 plus years of running a marathon, right? You were trying to do the most. I mean, that's incredible, right? So how do discipline and creativity intersect for you?
It's a tricky question, because I actually feel there's almost opposite. Because in a way, the discipline, you can easily sort of become rigid and militant about what you got to do. And so like you lose that sort of freedom to be creative. And on the flip side, sometimes when you think about creativity, you think about it, this freedom and flow of thoughts and ideas. And so you don't want, so it's tricky. It's finding a balance. I think you have to have both. And it's almost like, it's the whole idea of like knowing the rules and then when to break them and how to break them. So it's a combination of both. What was the question? How does it intersect? How do they intersect?
How do discipline and creativity intersect for you? And it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, in design, we always think about like how should, are there rules? Are there things have to be a certain way, and at the same time, it's like, yes, that's sort of like the foundation or the base, and then you got to like take a detour and break the rules and allow yourself that creative flow to come up with something special, to come up with something unique.
And then you're also bringing your client's vision to life. So you have to, So you have to be open-minded to listen to what they're saying, to bring it in. And
for sure. That reminds me of a question that's so often asked in the design industry of like, oh, you say you're a designer, and they say, oh, what's your style? What's your look?
Right.
What's your specialty? And there are designers you go to and like they have that one look. That's their thing. That's what you go to them for.
Right.
But I think it's really about the listening and being open and hearing your client, right? They're the one paying for it. And like hearing, and then bringing my creativity, bringing my expertise, bringing my experience to bring their vision or wishes to life, to manifest those with the understanding of rules or understanding of like how things work, of scale, proportion, color, all of that. But it's really hearing them and then taking into consideration of like location or the architecture of a place. But it really, to me, it's really important to be open and hearing them and hearing what they want.
Yeah. I'm sure you. I mean, I've seen some of your work, and it's always fierce. No, it looks great.
It is. I know.
A good job. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you'll have to come and work on my. No. That'll be the next episode. So you ran. You run for the marathon with the American Cancer Society in honor of your cousin, right?
Yeah, that's how it started out.
Yeah, and you've been doing that for.
It has now been.
You took a break one year, but
Hurricane Sandy.
Okay.
Literally, I mean, we trained all year long, and then the night before, they decided to cancel the New York City Marathon. So, we trained for 4 months, and then it was canceled. So that year didn't happen, and then also COVID 2020.
Right.
It didn't happen, but that was sort of like early on. We knew that was not going to happen that year. So I've missed 2 years. But it's been consecutive, I want to say, since, where are we, 2000, I started in 2010, maybe?
Ooh, I love that. So what keeps the traditions alive for so many years? Like,
I am committed. I run I run the...
Because at first you were only going to do it for 10 years, no?
Yeah. So it started out in 2020. I wanted to run the New York City Marathon for my 40th birthday.
Okay.
And during that time, in preparation, my cousin was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and then this opportunity came up to run with the American Cancer Society, and I thought it was a perfect opportunity. So I did that, and then after the first one, I was hooked, and I then made a commitment that I would run 10 marathons, sort of in honor of my cousin, in memory of my cousin. And so many of my friends say, like, you can come up with like easier promises. But during that time, in 2012, I think it was, my husband was diagnosed with cancer. And it sort of like renewed my commitment. And it evolved to 15 years.
I love it.
To run the New York City Marathon. He's has T-cell lymphoma, and for the past, he's been pretty clear for about 2.5 years now. But before that, it was like every 9 months or so. So he's had it like 10 times, and it's come back like 10 times. But anyway, it keeps renewing my commitment because I think I know what my cousin went through and what my husband goes through. And so those training and days I don't feel like doing, or when you're a mile 24, I think of them and it keeps me going.
Well, yeah. And I usually wait for you at mile 20. Is it, what's the
It's right off the bridge from the Bronx into Manhattan. So it's like around mile 21 or 20, something like that. I'm not in good shape at that.
No,
I have seen Andrea and Jen both early on in Brooklyn, usually like around mile 6 or 7. And I'm I'm screaming and I'm jumping up and down.
You twirled me around. That was so funny that time.
But by the time you get to me, you're like, honey. So I have the water and the banana. And I remember one time you hugged me, you were like, I'm so tired. I was like, you can do this. You got this. I don't know if I'd ever be able to. I mean, that's like, I get so excited. Well, I love where I stand because there's the music and the Bronx, it's by the 40th precinct. But, when I see people at that point, it's like, I don't know if I could be able to do this.
It's no joke. It really is no joke. And talk about training. And in fact, talking about being a dancer, the training and discipline and the physicality that it takes and the endurance, like you talk about, and the mental endurance you need is really even transferred into, running marathons.
So how many more years will you doing?
I have, I'm committed to doing 2 more. So this November and then next November will be my 15th marathon. Yeah. I got a tattoo in honor.
Really?
Can I show that on camera?
Yeah.
So this is my
You're going to have to lift that leg a little higher, Charles.
So this is my marathon tattoo.
Oh, wow.
26.2.
Oh, wow.
And each slash is for each marathon that I've done. So
that is very cool.
I'm really looking forward to hitting 15.
Are you so flexible?
I mean, he
doing it.
sprained his
Extend that
ankle.
leg.
Do you remember he sprained his ankle in April and then he ran the marathon that year in November?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wait, you
No joke.
also have, since we're still on the marathon, you have the group that's Charlie's Angels.
So I have a team called Charlie's Angels, and it's under the umbrella of the American Cancer Society.
Okay.
And I'm really proud to say that every year, for the past number of years, we've been in the top 3. Sometimes we've been number 1, next to companies like Morgan Stanley and Google, raising money for the American Cancer Society. I think last year we did $96,000.
Wow, Charles,
you
that's
don't-
amazing.
You don't play when it comes to fundraising.
That's
like,
amazing.
No, I've
Wow.
learned a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
through this experience with fundraising, that it's about presenting an opportunity. People are afraid to ask for money, and really, I'm presenting an opportunity to someone to be involved, to share my experience of running the New York City Marathon, to be part of, making a difference for people with cancer. So it's really one of the really close thing to my heart.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much, and I love recruiting people. And so if you want to run your first New York City Marathon, give me a call. I'll get you in
Be
for
a
next
Charlie's
year.
Angel.
But and then also I really love seeing this goes back to dancing too. I love seeing people say they've always wanted to run a marathon. They can't imagine how they would do it.
Right.
And I love to see that once they do the training, them running a marathon, seeing them cross the finish line, to me is so moving. I love seeing people do something that they wanted to do, that they thought they couldn't do, and they did it. And it really moves me to see
I love that. I love that. So Andrea, you were a trailblazer in mobile beauty, right? Even long before it was anything trendy.
Mm-hmm.
What sparked the leap from dance to makeup, and how did you carve out such a lasting niche?
Makeup was happening unbeknownst to me because we were having performances, headshots.
Got it.
I was doing it for friends. And, it wasn't a profession back then. It was just like a thing you would do because you had to for, an appearance.
Right.
And I didn't know anyone that was actually pursuing or had a career in makeup. I didn't realize that was a thing. But all along in college, I was going around to different dorms doing nails.
You were already doing it.
I was already doing it. And then some of the guys said, well, if you could do that, if you have precision with your hands like that, why don't you just cut my hair? I can't find it. I'm like, I don't cut hair. And I was cutting, making my little money, But because during the research at the time, and that was in the early 80s.
Okay.
Well, because we graduated 87, so 88. I started researching is there any business? Because, there was no internet back then. So it was none of that. I'm trying to find from the yellow pages anything. No, asking around in the industry, anything do people right?
There's
do people
no internet.
travel around to their clients?
No,
The
right.
World Wide Web didn't exist.
It didn't exist. So I sat on the idea for a good 5 to 7 years because there was no model, no one I could speak to kind of guide me with it. So it was really, when I created Fairweather Faces Travel and Beauty Services, it launched in 1997, which made it a trailblazing business that laid down the groundwork for what is the mobile beauty industry. And at that time when I did it, in a nutshell, some people applauded it and some people thought I was crazy because how could you do that? And I said, no, it makes sense. What we're going to do is flip the beauty industry upside down. Instead of clients going to the salon, we will reverse it and go to them. And all we have to do is just do it. And again, like I said, it was out of fear and not knowing how to do it. But once we did,
You killed it.
yeah, we did. We killed it. Thank you.
I remember you came to Bill and I, our apartment, and you did you gave us manicures.
Yes.
Early, I was in 97 or something.
Yeah, it was very early on. That's right. That's right. And you
So
were an
you
early
were-
supporter.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Gen 2
And
supported
I
us.
hired you
Yeah.
for a video shoot.
Yes, you did.
Yes, getting
Yep.
it done. And then you did my makeup for the Tony Awards.
Yes.
Yeah. She beat my face then and today. Yes.
Yeah, you all have always supported me. Always.
Yeah. You're amazing. That's easy
Thank
to do.
you.
So you have been Good Morning America's key makeup artist. You're the lead makeup artist, yeah? Or key, what is that role?
So there are a number of, so back then when I got the job, it was like in 1998, and I became the first Black woman to have that position, which was like shocking in itself. And the reason why I know that is because a number of celebrities told me so.
Okay.
And then when I asked management, they were like, oh yeah, it is that. Yeah, you are.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay. So that's pretty historical in itself. But yes, I'm still there. It's June made, this is August, June, this past June made 27 years, which went by in a shot. I am still excited about it, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
If I wasn't, I wouldn't be there. It still allows me to be creative, but at the same time, I'm in a position of leadership. A lot of people come to me needing guidance, advice, because I have been there for so long. And so it's still good.
Yeah. So you have a team that's under you, right?
Yes.
How do you keep your artistry fresh while working under constant pressure?
This is where dance comes in. And I'm always quietly reminded of the training, is that I always look at everything like a performance from a performance standpoint. It's just what it is. It's not like I'm trying to do that. It's just what's in my being, in my blood, and for my foundation.
Right.
I look at things like, what is it that I have to do? How do I make my entrance? What is it that I have to do in the middle? And a bang ending. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I find that I always think back to Anthony Apeson, who was our acting coach
He was
back
amazing.
then, is that you have a universe in you. And I've always believed that about myself. And especially in hearing it and being trained by him, it is what it is. I'm not just wasn't just a dancer. I was always an artist, and I'm also a business person, and I think like an attorney, and I can present. I can go live, and I know my moment before I have to present, and all those talents fuse together. So back to your question, to answer it, it was never just one thing, and it never is just one thing with me every day. I have to go in like it's an improv and be open and able to deliver in whatever area needs me. But in the end, I know that each day I'm able to do my art. I'm able to show up on time, before time. That's me. I want to go in and be prepared and be the first one in the room, because quietly I'm setting up and I'm praying that, everything goes well. Yes. And even if it doesn't go well, I wear my heart on my sleeve because I'm tough on myself. It's just what it is. Because from dance, go back and get it right. Just those angst.
Yeah.
But I'm an artist. So I have to, grind
you
it out.
approach it that way.
Yeah.
So you
It's
have
just what it is.
a bag of goodies and things that you pull out. You pull out what you need to for each thing.
Yeah, I realized that I'm becoming more of a minimalist instead of needing a crutch of so many things. And I like that because I had to come through that. Realizing that, you're okay with less. You can stand out there naked and you'll be okay because you know what to do. You know how to execute and get from A to B. You know what that is. And again, like I said, that dance background is everything, because it literally tackled all the things we need for success, to build from the ground up and execute and to sustain.
It's an amazing foundation.
Yeah.
So DeLuca.
I don't know what I can add, because I was like, yup. So well said.
Thank you.
You made the leap from dance to Pilates, carrying on a second generation, which I don't think I knew that. Second generation legacy. What was that transition like?
It was kind of natural, and it was a little bit kismet, like just I was in the right place at the right time. I had actually given up dancing because my father died, and it was really like a trigger that I couldn't like live a risky life. Like I was like, I need practicality in my life because my mom is unstable now. Like everything around me is unstable. So I need stability. And I went and started working in the Time and Life building. I was sort of a temp, and then they put me down as an assistant somewhere, and then they moved me to a different assistant. And I would try to leave to go take dance class because it was, in Midtown. And the dance classes were too long. They were like an hour and a half, and lunch wasn't an hour and a half. And by the time I changed my clothes and everything, like I was like, I can't go take dance class. So I remember doing Pilates at LaGuardia High School for a semester. We had Matt.
Robin Becker.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a teacher named Nancy Butler who did it. She was a guest teacher who did Matt class. So I remembered Pilates, and I think I'd gotten a video, but then I got into a conversation with someone at work, and they said, "Oh, I actually work out on the machines, and it's nearby, and you should go to my teacher. She's amazing." And I went to this teacher, and it turned out it was someone that I went to NYU with, and we knew each other. And I was like, "Oh my God." So she was like, "You should really come and train with me at Drago's gym because that's even closer to your office." And I went there, and the woman who ran that program had been trained by Joseph Pilates. Her name was Romana Krizanovska. So I didn't know it at the time, but I was kind of like thrown right into the source. We trained on original equipment that Joe made.
Wow.
There were photos of him everywhere all over the studio. And I was so unhappy working at a desk job, and Pilates twice a week
Gave you life.
Oh my God. Like I felt, I didn't realize how unhappy I was, but it brought me back to my body. And Joe actually wrote a book called Return to Life through Contrology. That's like his big seminal book. So I don't know. It was really transformative. And as I was listening to you guys talk, I realized we're in the business of transformation, and dance is really an art form of transformation. You're constantly transforming into some shape or a character or a different kind of nonverbal communication. Anyway, so it really transformed my life. And then my teacher, Roxanne, was like, "You should really do the teacher training because it would be like a fish returning to water for you." And I was like, "Oh, I think I'll do that." And so I did the training. And then I was at my desk job at People Magazine one day, and I ordered equipment to teach out of my apartment.
Okay.
And this was like 1997. And as soon as I hung up the phone, I got called into the office, and they were like, "We're eliminating this role. You can have this other job, but it's more hours. It's more money, but it's more hours.
Right.
Or you can take 4 months severance." And I was like,
"Give me the money.
"I will take that package."
Yep.
And then I started teaching out of my apartment. And, one client came to me, and then she came twice, and then she sent her mother-in-law, and then another person came. And
you were like,
I can do this. And I had 3 different jobs at that time. I was teaching dance. I was teaching Pilates out of my home, and I was teaching Pilates at a physical therapy office because, dancers, they just work. And our stamina is insane.
Yes.
I put in all the time. But, you also, Andrea, alluded to something that I realized, there's a universe inside of me. And I am that businesswoman, and I am that creative person, and I am that body person.
Yes.
And the other thing that I realized has followed me throughout my whole life is community. I was always, as a kid, I created a cheerleading squad. I had my grandma make the costumes. I borrowed all the cheers from my brother's basketball games. My friends and I snuck into a school. When we knew swim practice was going on, we snuck into the gym, and we practiced there. We got kicked out, So, and then, I would do shows for our local nursing home. We would do a Christmas show every year. My friends and I would get together and just make costumes, produce whatever. Anyway. And so as I was working out of my apartment, I started to really miss the community part of it. I really wanted to teach with other teachers and be with other intelligent, enthusiastic people. And then I opened a commercial space in 1999, and that still is going. We're going to have our 26th anniversary in November.
I love it.
So, dance, whether it's the movement part of it, the discipline part of it, the health part of it, the choreography.
Yeah.
dance has been the backbone.
Yes,
of all
of
it.
everything. And so you didn't have a desire to Pilates wasn't on your radar, even though it was part of your family. Like it didn't happen until you started taking those classes again, or
It didn't happen until I really hated the way I used to sit at my desk at People magazine without shoes on. Because I didn't know how people wore shoes all day. I was like, how on earth? So I'd be the girl walking around the hallway with no shoes on. And every time I saw the long hallway, because, the Time Warner building is a block long, I would think, I want to do Shanae turns.
Yes.
I want to do cartwheels. Like I couldn't understand. Like the hallway was just like,